Okay, so every reading at Open Books is special, obviously, but it always feels particularly special when we get to host readings like this one, which is a celebration of both great poetry and the great friendships that poetry often makes possible. Tonight's readers, Woogee Bae, Chelsea Grimmer, Abby Polikoff, and Caitlin Opegard, are some of the most talented, energizing, hardworking, and terrific poets you're likely to meet, full stop. I'm going to read all of their bios on the front end and then get out of the way so that they can wow you. Woogee Bae is an MFA candidate at the University of Washington Bothel's Creative Writing and Poetics program, whose work has appeared in such journals as PQ, Peach Mag, and Small Portions. She also interns for the wonderful semi-local press Wave Books.
Open Books for hosting this, and thank you Caitlin, Chelsea, and Abby for reading. I was going to start this reading by reading from the third last page of Eric Sneedon's Snail Poems, but I forgot my copy. It's the paragraph about friendship, so if you ever get a chance you can read it. I am currently working on a manuscript around mung beans, and this is been reading this at like different readings. I'm sorry if you've heard it before. But I was thinking a lot about decay and trying to find like something that I could use in place of the language or in place of something that's like unspeakable. And mung, I found out in Korean means like a bruise and bark and damage and emptiness. And also in the English definition, it also means to spoil and damage. So I thought that was a nice kind of relation. So I'll just go ahead and read from them. Mung. Start with the earth, with soil and sprout. Start with stems to cut the bare and pitied. Start with bark that splits the sound and stress on skin and sheath. Start beneath what mangled vein, sunk in water, hours and days. Start with an image of fruit or bruise, when soaked and skewed, that shape of mung. Noun, a verb, spiral dates, memory splatter. Mung appeared in a dream than your arm. Curiously the shape, discolored and blister, a family home set on the window to cool. You took a tablespoon of mung. You took some pepper and salt. On the ground where one bathes and drinks water, we built the outline, thinking it safe. Mung from the mingled, for cattle and corn husk. Mung until none grow wild and crumb. To mongrel or mother who barked that dogged. A speech or mutter, crowded and blunt. On countertop's surface, mungled from mung. And mung or mung you muddled. Mung, a noun. At the smallest center, mashed formless. It took some time to heal. Some of this happens in bread and flowers, a tunnel station in blood and blore. Spared $2 for cinnamon, emptied your pocket, you rummaged the bag or purse, our dribble and throat. Was it your love in place of heat or syrup on the lip? From where a stomach grumbles, spoke affection and hunger. Had you pinched and chewed the pigeons flown to our balcony full of shit and rice, plates set next to metal, griped about weather, have you? Have you eaten, you asked, which I mistook for anger but grief. Poke those ribs the corpse, not mine, in your mouth already. Have you turned over from the pounding that made your flesh so tender? At the words that tightened these lips, heavy air on our chests, the times you played music to sleep, I dreamt of porches closed around. Could one see the metal from here, could only set the table again. Again, your blue so thin, the bottle shook, your hands prune. What image a family borrowed, stove and heat, or ate our sorrow defined. I found in mutter a blunted cry, the quickness in which you stood brushed oil to your skin, ground and spit the curd, to gently nest in spoon. Have you tried the salt in grain? have you slept and washed? Purple split, traced down that weeping limb, packed pity in plastic stench and worms could eat unburied. What nourished left, disposed into the dirt. Before the stop, what was a belly rub to indicate full and grace the shame? Piled at the end, toweled in 3, then swept. What kept your taste bitter, the mold picked and clove. Did you know your closeness to dirt, hacked and hacked, a dizziness from where you might see the bottom? Mung, a verb, articulation, a bark, another call to love. It was only the carcass on your bed outlining your body, legs snipped when you carried the muzzle over your head. Speak and bark, bark English and weep, hear what you tried to do. Fill your mouth with sticks, reduce to a simmer, coat the dent in your gum. When watching the crowd gather to eat you, submerged in sauce, when your hair on my plate blanket the rice, you in the yard, ticks on your cheek, the pleasure of licking, smoothness of stalk, your tolerance of pain. Image the dog woofing in broth, what kind of dog becoming, made to strangle from the inside bursting, saw shimmer and licked, food deprived for days, that runs through the skin, sign notice before reading. The entrails dumped, were twisted and split, which parts couldn't be chewed, which crumbs smeared over open, scampered your torn, what left was compressed. How easily you pulled, replaced limb with limb, minced your name and mine. Have you eaten the kibble over tablecloth? Have you eaten the shame of dog? Mung, a noun. A fatal transition moves about the body. Well, could you speak? And would I know it? Would I call your love inadequate had I known, or remembered the still pain of soft stone? Would I mimic your speech, perfect the strain? I turned at the tension in your breath. Did you know you would carry this even now? One day I ripped the drawing, you said. What bad luck to run paper under water, to fold it against the edge and soak the body. Some things we couldn't mend. We huddled on the mattress. Then we were 3. I make a map of our memories. Always they take me to this. Some date and year, while we dreamt of paper roofs and poppy, awoke to carry you here. I think of the measurements of a bed, its limitations. How many bodies can it fit before it collapses? To think of splinter, to be held and covered, to imagine a timeline in which we share a meal, build a townhouse with open walls, to paint the door yellow and call from upstairs. I would ask for another scoop. You would empty the rice maker. How does a body show love when it is bruised? How can you hold me before you have eaten? All we do is tremble. I write you some poems you could never read. Am I to say your name or face in a box of silver, peridot, ends of war, coins exchanged for pencils, tarts, memories of broom, several times wound, severed, still when you laughed? What it meant to be ordinary, if kept in containers, works of travel between firm and gravel throttled there where we were, drawn curtains, pancake batter, door chain, the times the roofs burned down, rationed affection, we took our servings of someone's pity, that which appeared whole. Shapes of tenderness, images of your body in landfill, a fallen shoe, images of your body on plate, burial grounds. The dogs come to mingle, wherever the lesion, how many times you stood, the woken hours, what is seen as waste, your emptied gut, garlicked hands, that foulness of speech. Mung, a noun, crumble of skin, pluck and boil, several enter closest to bone. The terms expected, think, shown for air, the mercy of outsiders after we lowered on knee, lower than begging, we were told to meet with care. Prayers for food, shelter, body compacted than nothing. All the many held, we arrived in wash. It was the bone that kept us wake. Next to refuse a grief, wilted the song, sung apples and grass. Nothing but the filling uncooked to your mouth, as cradled to warmth under layers of jar. Determined by some record of worth I could give you such. Here, silk and brine. In another birth, which body I rinsed would be yours. Mourned weeks, years suspended and feared, not in this time, before a timer set, sliver of film to your tongue. If I described you a dog ate the seed or the fool, I'd watch your arm extend to touch it. On the other side of attachment, neither phone call nor shame, momentarily settled landmass and memory. Sunday night, the aftermath of cleanup. I found a label in the cabinet, begged and you promised, no matter the sickness that left your stomach pitted. Image what keeps your broken mouth, millions of mung caught on teeth, distortions and disproportions, placement of limbs, flattened molars, heavy, bitterness of what you store, seamed along throat. Mung in place of an image that tugs. If I rewrite the word, turn mung on its head, remember the taste of a peach for eating. Remember its sweetness, to spoil, ruin, mingle, damage what is done. In the aftermath of increased friction, methods of extraction, proceeded to grate the word until it formed mounds, pointed to gaps and outward, there was the gutter. I wanted something else for you, to gather new flowers, but I kept picking the same. If mung degrades, is immortalized, if events start to haze, if home in flux and emergent, at the center where you're standing, where all the objects collide, perhaps this constant movement carries your fractures, could help you shoulder the weight. Mung, a noun, a verb, your distance and nearness, this timeline in gaps, mung under surface, puddles of water, all the rest, all the remains, I swallowed in hopes you'd live. I wonder in what pipe or sewer you decided to stay, how much of you has broken down enough to escape. Thank you.